Good day, everyone. I'm Paramjit Kaur from UUM. Today, I'll be presenting my topic, transforming learning via peer feedback. Okay, peer feedback is essential in L2 writing classrooms. It enhances writing and argument development skills, and feedback is actually essential for L2 learners. Incorporating both teacher as well as peer feedback can improve students' learning, writing, and language acquisition. Peer feedback is especially effective in writing classes as it provides students with immediate feedback and creates collaborative opportunities. And peer feedback is often perceived as non-threatening than feedback from instructors or teachers. However, instructor feedback is also invaluable to learners as it is perceived as being authoritative and more specific. Purpose of this study is it investigated graduate students' attitudes and beliefs towards peer and instructor feedback, and this is primarily a qualitative study and only looks at feedback given in a writing assignment. So if we look at the overview of peer versus instructor feedback, peer feedback, sometimes in the literature also referred to as peer review, peer editing, peer evaluation, or peer response, involves students providing comments on other students' work and also receive comments for their own work. Can be in written and oral formats. An instructor or teacher feedback provides expert guidance within the zone of proximal development, and can be also in written and oral format. And normally for feedback, peer feedback as well as teacher feedback, there should be the use of rubrics to enhance feedback. There are two roles of instructors in the feedback process. They moderate peer feedback as well as provide feedback. So the roles and benefits of peer versus instructor feedback. Peer feedback improves language performance and fosters critical thinking, reader awareness, and motivation. Aids in improving language performance and fosters critical thinking, reader awareness, and motivation. So there are quite a number of benefits when we incorporate peer feedback. For instructor feedback, the role of the instructor is to design activities that promote meaningful engagement and equip students with tools such as structured rubrics and examples to guide constructive feedback. And instructors also monitor the process to ensure comments are constructive and that students respond appropriately to feedback. The perception regarding peer as well as instructor feedback, there's quite a number of studies that look at this. So for peer feedback, most learners or students perceived it as being non-threatening, and students may find it more acceptable as it comes from their peers rather than instructors, creates a supportive environment where students can engage in constructive dialogues and enhance their learning outcomes. For instructor feedback, the perception normally is instructors provide expert guidance within the zone of proximal development and is perceived as authoritative and highly valued by L2 learners for its accuracy and specificity. Teacher provided written corrective feedback significantly improved L2 writing accuracy, particularly for grammar and syntax. And this is from a research by Kang and Han in 2015. Of course, there are some challenges as well as drawbacks when we incorporate peer feedback. So one of the challenges actually, it revolves around the accuracy and quality of the feedback provided by peers. So sometimes we are not sure whether the feedback is accurate, especially for language classrooms. And less proficient or struggling learners often have problems with providing accurate feedback due to their limited knowledge of the language. Inaccurate peer feedback can also be detrimental, leading to demotivating and frustrating experiences for learners, both for those giving the feedback as well as those receiving the feedback. Okay, so peer feedback needs to be quite carefully planned and also involve feedback from the instructor to overcome these challenges. So some of the challenges and drawbacks from instructor feedback. One, of course, it would be the volume of uh, of work that is piled on instructors when they need to give feedback. If they have large classes and are more so for writing classes. Okay, so Lee 2019 revealed that instructor feedback enhances revision quality, but may not always translate to long-term writing proficiency if learners copy corrections without understanding them. And there's also another research that noted potential demotivational effects of overly critical teacher feedback, particularly in EFL contexts where it may undermine learner confidence. So, striking the balance between peer feedback and instructor feedback. So while peer feedback promotes autonomy, teacher feedback results in more substantial textual changes. This balance is essential to strike a balance between peer feedback and instructor feedback to provide comprehensive guidance and support to the students. So the methodology for this study is an exploratory study, qualitative in nature, which involves semi-structured interviews. And the sample, there are 19 graduate students in one class, so it's a whole class participation. The method is peer and instructor feedback on a summary article. So after they completed the peer feedback and received the instructor feedback as well, 1 week later, all the students were interviewed in semi-structured interviews. Right? So the findings of the interviews, one of the themes that we found was positive reactions to peer feedback. So you can see here just three, we have taken just 3 samples to highlight their reaction. So respondents who say they felt positive and comfortable to ask my classmates questions, and they learned from the mistakes they made, right? And respondent 5 has never done a peer feedback activity, surprisingly, and only does this in a graduate classroom, right? And based on the activity done, I feel comfortable and think that this activity could help me to answer the questions better. This could also be the setting as these are graduate and more mature students. So it could be beneficial for them and they're mature enough to understand the task and participate actively. So another respondent, R14, the activity is very helpful since I got to know the areas to improve. I am glad that I'll still be able to repair my work before the final submission. So this was actually used as a formative assessment where students, after getting the feedback from peers as well as the instructor, they could improve on their work before they submitted. So the usefulness, another theme that we found in terms of the usefulness of the peer feedback and instructor feedback. So beneficial, you can see they have the highlighted words, beneficial for revision, as well as the rubrics. Okay, so some respondents also spoke about the rubrics. So probably it's essential to have good, clear rubrics to help students in their peer feedback. Right? So R8, yes, it's much more beneficial and helpful for me because the one who corrected me are also learners and know exactly how I feel and discussing mistake with them are really helpful in order to redo any mistake that I have done, right? So R18 actually, one participant who actually was critical about the peer feedback and assesses its effectiveness. So some of the comments were beneficial and some are not. I think it is a matter of who we trust to comment on our article review. If I get the person I considered as good achievement, I will really look into the comments. It is more beneficial if the comments given are beneficial for my next writing. So this is actually good because they are critical of what they receive, right? And this is the findings about the feedback from lecturer. All wanted and valued feedback from peers and lecturers. R1, respondent 1, I prefer to receive feedback from my peers and lecturer. Feedback given by my peers help me to generate my thinking on how to write my review in a more better way and also identify the important points which I have missed out. Feedback from lecturer would be helpful for me to keep my task on track by focusing on the rubrics given. So here, the feedback from the lecturer probably is seen as authoritative, right? So R8, both peers and lecturer, because peers know and understand other learner problem, and feedback from lecturer is must because lecturer is more knowledgeable and in giving feedback. So for the discussion and conclusion, it is essential to help develop positive experiences and attitudes towards student-centered exercises, which include peer feedback activities that will help them become critical and independent writers. Feedback is an essential part of developing students' writing skills, and having the teacher or lecturer as well as peers providing feedback will enrich students' writing experiences. Peer feedback can be incorporated in writing classes to improve writing skills as well as enable students to critically examine their own writing while they provide feedback to their peers. However, instructors need to play an important role in designing, moderating peer feedback activities, as well as provide feedback to supplement peer feedback. Peer feedback, if incorporated in a structured manner, may create a positive learning environment for students and develop higher order thinking skills. And this is actually very important for writing. Peer feedback in writing offers numerous benefits, including improved writing skills, enhanced autonomy, exposure to diverse perspectives, and positive impacts of e-feedback. Because currently we can also incorporate e-feedback, both for peers as well as for teachers. However, challenges such as the accuracy and reliability of feedback from peers, logistical issues, and the integration with teacher feedback need to be addressed to maximize its effectiveness. And with that, I end my presentation. Thank you. If you have any further questions or queries, feel free to email me at the email given below. Thank you. Have a good day.